Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Podcast Galaxy. I'm Tom, and today we're talking about a very interesting book called How We Learn. The author is Benedict Carey, and this book is all about how our brain learns. It shows us how learning really works, and it also explains that many things we believe about studying are actually not true. This book helps us understand how to remember more, study smarter, and enjoy the process. We'll go through the book chapter by chapter. I'll explain each idea in simple English with examples and real stories. Are you ready? Let's begin. Chapter 1. Forget everything you know about learning. In the first chapter, Carey says something surprising. He says most people don't really understand how learning works. Many students believe they must sit in one place, study for many hours, and focus very hard. They think this is the best way to learn. But science shows that this is not always true. Our brain is not a machine. It's a living, growing part of our body. It learns in many ways, from experience, from mistakes, from curiosity, and from trying again and again. We started learning as babies by exploring and playing. We touched things, moved around, listened, watched, and copied others. This natural way of learning is still powerful, even for adults. The author also says that the place where you study matters. If you always study in the same room, your brain connects that memory with that place. But if you study in different locations, your memory becomes stronger. Changing your environment helps your brain build more connections. For example, if you learn English vocabulary in your bedroom today, try studying in the kitchen tomorrow and in the park the next day. Your brain will link those words to many places, making it easier to remember them later. So, the message of this chapter is simple. Learning is not only about discipline and hard work, it's about creating the right conditions for your brain. Be curious, try new methods, study in different places, and make learning more active. Chapter 2. The power of forgetting. We often feel bad when we forget something. We think forgetting means failure. But the author says forgetting is not bad, it's actually part of learning. Our memory works like a muscle. When we forget and then try to remember, we make the memory stronger. Scientists call this the forgetting effect, and it's the reason why spaced repetition works so well. Spaced repetition means reviewing information several times, but with breaks in between. For example, if you learn 10 new English words today, review them tomorrow. Then review them again after 3 days and once more after a week. Each time you try to remember, the memory becomes stronger. But if you repeat the words 10 times in 1 hour and never review them again, you'll forget them quickly. Forgetting helps the brain focus on what's important. It removes unnecessary details and makes important memories easier to find. It's like cleaning a room. You take out what you don't need so you can easily find what truly matters. So don't worry if you forget something. It's part of the learning process. Just review, recall, and let your brain do its work. Chapter 3. Mixing it up. Most people believe they should focus on one thing at a time, study one topic until they master it. But the author shows that mixing different topics together can actually be more effective. When you mix things up, your brain has to think harder. It needs to decide which rule or idea to use. This extra effort makes learning deeper and memory stronger. For example, if you're learning grammar, don't study only one rule for 2 hours. Instead, study grammar for 20 minutes, then vocabulary for 20 minutes, and then practice speaking. Later, come back to grammar. This helps your brain connect all these skills together. Mixing old material with new material is also helpful. It forces your brain to recall what you learned before, which makes your memory stronger. If you're studying different subjects in school, try mixing them during your study sessions. It might feel more difficult and you might feel like you're learning less, but that's actually a sign your brain is working deeply. Easy learning often disappears quickly. Harder learning stays longer. Chapter 4. The role of rest and sleep is not wasted time. It's an important part of learning. While we sleep, the brain organizes everything we learned during the day. It builds connections between ideas, strengthens memories, and sometimes even solves problems. Research shows that people who sleep after studying remember more than those who stay awake. Sleep works like a secret teacher inside your brain. Short breaks during study time are also useful. They give your brain time to process information before adding more. After a break, you return with fresh energy and focus. For example, if you study English vocabulary before sleeping, your memory will be stronger in the morning. But if you stay awake all night reading, you'll probably forget most of what you studied. The author says we shouldn't feel guilty for sleeping or resting. They're an essential part of the learning process. Chapter 5. Testing. Is learning. We usually think tests are only for checking what we know. But actually, tests are one of the best ways to learn. When we try to remember something, even if we get it wrong, we strengthen that memory. This process is called retrieval practice. Testing helps you see what you remember and what you've forgotten. It shows you where you need to work more, and it makes it easier to recall information next time. For example, after reading a story, try to write down what you remember without looking. You might miss some details, but the effort of recalling will make your memory stronger. If you only reread the story, you'll forget it more easily. The author suggests using small quizzes, flashcards, or self-tests often. They turn studying into an active process. Chapter 6. The benefits of distraction. We're often told to focus and avoid distractions. But the author says small distractions can sometimes help learning. When you step away from a problem, your brain continues to work on it in the background. It connects ideas and searches for solutions. For example, if you're writing an essay and feel stuck, go for a short walk. While walking, your mind keeps thinking quietly. And when you come back, a solution might suddenly appear. If you work on something for too long, your mind gets tired. A small change or short break can refresh your focus. The key is balance. Long distractions are not helpful, but short ones can be very powerful. Chapter 7. Learning without thinking. Not all learning is conscious. Sometimes we learn without trying, without even realizing it. It happens when we notice patterns, when we hear language, or when we repeat actions again and again. Children learn their first language without any grammar lessons. They listen to words and copy them. Adults also learn in the same way. We learn social habits, how to drive, and even how to recognize music patterns, all without thinking too much or studying directly. For example, if you listen to English podcasts while cooking, you're still learning. Your brain is picking up grammar, pronunciation, and rhythm, even if you're not paying full attention. This kind of learning is powerful because it feels natural and effortless. You can use it by surrounding yourself with the language or the skill you want to learn. It reminds you that failure is normal and an important part of progress. Chapter 9. Learning from mistakes. Many people are afraid of making mistakes. They believe mistakes mean failure. But the author explains that mistakes are actually one of the best ways to learn. When we make a mistake and then correct it, we remember the correct answer more strongly. Our brain pays special attention to errors. It wants to fix them. This process builds stronger memory and deeper understanding. For example, if you say a sentence incorrectly and someone corrects you, you're more likely to remember the right version next time. If you always speak perfectly, you don't challenge your memory. So making mistakes not only helps you learn, it also builds confidence.